Hello, I'm Fred, and welcome back to PS4 Village Survival. Today, it is time to actually start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. Sorry. For so many things. No, to start building some fences around this place. And I think my approach is going to be, I've got enough gates here for 4 sides, and yes, I could build more, but I'm not going to right now. So I'm just going to hit the main, well, I'm going to add these gates to like the main 4 sides, I guess. I was going to say exits, entrances, but quite frankly, I mean, yeah, I think that could bleed out. Those two are kind of marked. These other two are more, whatever. I have done a little bit more, lots of things. You can see I've got some steps making it easier to run around. You can also see I haven't removed this entire hill yet. So that makes this part a little harder. But if that goes there, now I'm just trying to, I'm imagining, where would this come out? I want it to this level, yeah. Let's say here works. And I see free food and wool. Nummy, nummy, nummy. Thank you, wolves. And then the last side over here, which is going to be... Do I want that pond in or out? I guess out is fine. I don't know what I'm doing over here. In fact, let's put the gate over here by the pond. That would be super inconvenient to where I'm always at with trying to use it. So for materials on this thing, this wall, I'm going to mix it up a bit. You can see I've got some cobblestone, some logs, plenty of fences. I got some leaves too. I figure I can kind of make the make it a little not really fancy, because we're still, this is very much still frontier town. It's getting bigger, that's great, but it's still not like, major metropolitan area or nothing. So let's start over here, and I think mostly my plan is going to be kind of this kind of thing where it looks like the gates were, really done up nicely, but then maybe they've kind of fallen over the waysides over the years. I immediately put the wrong block down. I got one slab, I want to use it there. And then I even thought about maybe grabbing some bricks and kind of doing it that way. Now to make this look better, I need some depth and things like that, so I'll probably try to make it kind of pretty that way. And in general, I'm just going to follow terrain. Like in this section, because it's a drop, I'm thinking that kind of thing. And then we actually just connect it that way. I gotta remember, I want... Two things I want here is I want villagers to stay in, and I want bad guys to stay out. So I can't leave any easy ways for anything to walk in or out. Like this, that's an easy way in. So I can't do that. So what I will probably do is go ahead and leave it kind of flat and boring right now, and use smaller bits to make sure that nothing can get in or out. But it's this kind of idea. And you know what? Let's go ahead and strip this. Kind of mix match. Make it look like it was built over several years. Kind of be like, hey, how's it going, Iron Golem? Nice to see you. I'm just working on some fences. Oh, well, I'll talk to you later. John, didn't even say goodbye. And this is all going to be temporary. I mean, much like these houses, I mean, some of these will probably stick around, but, over the years, things fall apart. They break down. They need to be torn out and put back in. I'm just trying to think now. Do I want a big old square? Or do I want it to follow the terrain a bit? How natural do I want this to be? Let's try following the terrain a bit. Alright, so I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing here. And I'm sure it's going to prove to be a pain in my neck sometime in the near future. But you know what? That's what we've got axes for. To tear stuff down. In addition to finishing out this gate so it looks a little, well, I was going to say pretty, but you know, maybe pretty is the wrong word. I think I can throw that there safely. I marked out the fence all the way around. So I just kind of threw down these wooden things. No! Just trying to avoid that. I got to fill in some water. And then, yeah, I've got to kind of circling around the land, around the ground. Over to here. And this goes back up. Now, this hill, I still need to take down. So many of these logs that are marking it won't be here. They may end up being the top. You can see here I kind of took down trees just to mark where I wanted it down here. So we'll keep the roses on the outside. That's fine. Circle around to our low spot. And then I did decide to keep the tree farm in. Just because it would have looked weird otherwise. So this will be kind of a large circular area. And with this perimeter, I'm going to focus on building houses in it. Now this is actually one of the only straight bits of it just because of how it works out. And I'll take out this land so things aren't, the villagers can't escape as easily. It occurs back around to where we left off. So anyway, what I was going to say is with this perimeter, which is fairly large, you can kind of see it on the map just as, you know, you can see the houses that are already there. This is where we're going to be building all of our houses in. Stealing carrots, stealing carrots, stealing carrots. So the houses that we're going to build, we're going to try to fill it in. Like I said, it was a frontier land, or if you want to think of it as, instead of Old West, which really is kind of an odd thing, more Middle Ages, then we've got a gate here, and we're going to fill it in fairly deep. For some reason, I want to keep this tree. This isn't the same tree as that was here before. I accidentally burned it down. I'll talk about how that happened in a little bit, but I replanted it in the same spot. So I want to keep that tree. So maybe this will be a little park area. But other than that, we're going to turn it into an urban hellscape. I mean, we're going to turn it into a bustling town from just this little minor village, which will be fun. So I'm going to go around and fill in some more, steal some more carrots, fill in some more of the fencing and gates and everything else, not gates, fencing and walls. I did build some cobblestone walls with the fences, and I'll keep doing the towers up tall with the bushes and the stone and the wood. Some of these I'll strip, some of them I won't. I'll probably actually just make these 3 tall throughout. Which means when I use the trees, I shouldn't have chopped them down. That's all right. Just to kind of give it some consistency, some cohesion, make it look very similar. Yeah. So it's called design. It'll just be kind of not right here because once again I need to tear down this mountain. So I'm not going to work on these things. I'm going to work on the other ones. Okay, you know what? Get in. Yep, we've got enough, big enough village. We got 2 iron golems at a time. So that's cool. So yeah, let me finish, not finish. Let me work on this gate. I don't think I'll finish this whole wall system by this episode. Maybe I will. I've got another big thing I'm going to talk about, which is probably the title and thumbnail to draw you in, because who wants to watch an episode about a wall and a gate and fence and stuff going up? But anyway, just in case I'm keeping it a secret, I'm keeping it a secret. All right? All right. As you can see, we now live in a gated community. All the way around. And you'll have to trust me that it's down here. Yeah, this tree overhangs it a bit. Now, for the next part of this episode, dealing with this weird little water thing in the middle. Let's jump down there. when I finally had enough villagers that they would spawn in a second iron golem, I would just choose one at random, follow it around, setting it on fire. It takes a while doing this, but you know, you get iron out of it and sometimes some poppies. If you can get them to stand in fire for a bit, that causes more damage, but I did lose some drops that way because the fire was still there when they died. So be careful. And what I would notice is that a lot of times when I killed one, another one would spawn in this section here I had with horses and sheep. So I'd have to jump in there, and it was a disaster. At one point, I had like 3 sheep on fire, which I only have 1 left now, running around. Iron golem's like not on fire, but everything else is. It was hectic. I had the fence on fire. It was just a pain. So I built this little iron golem farm. We're going to call it an iron farm. It's an idea. Look at this. What perfect timing, Mr. Man! So as you can see, you might find yourself with a spot in your world that a lot of iron golems and yes, little kittens do spawn in. And I suggest if you do this, find that spot. Oh, this is too perfect. And build this here. It doesn't work that often, but I've got maybe half a stack now of iron from it. Mostly I just follow around and burn them like you've been seeing. Some cats, you can see it bounce up and down, will pop in there and kill themselves too. Otherwise they despawn. It's no big deal. So yeah, this is very simple to build. This is, I don't even know how big this is. It was very random, the size. I mean, I still have this, so I can go in there. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, it's 11 by 11. And for water, all I did was put a block here and put a water source on top of it. Block here, water source on top. This is standard stuff. You know, you skip this one, you do all of these, and then I did it to this point just so that everything would flow in. So if I stand here, it pushes me in. And I had to do a solid wall because otherwise it would get hung up on the fences. So yeah, that's a easy iron farm. Look at that, half a stack already, a little bit of string, a little bit of poppies. In addition to the stuff I, you know, get as I wander around the village and start tearing things apart. I mean, not tearing things apart. Ushering our poor iron golems to the next world. The world of me having iron. And that world is how I was able to get enough iron for that hopper. And also all the flint and steel. The flint and steel method is not too bad either because you get at least 3 to 5, and as you oh, look, another one's in there. Look at him trying to escape. This is much better than it has ever been before. Oh, you see that poor kitty? Oh. Anyway, what I was saying is that flint and steel method's nice because it recreates its own flint. You're going to get at least a net of 2 iron ingots out of every time you do it. So if you want fairly early game iron, yes, I know I have a video joking about, you know, buying iron tools and melting those down. But seriously, get enough villagers in a village to produce 2 iron. You can do it with 1. I just like 2, so I have the safety of 1 iron golem wander around at all times. But yeah, get 2 of them in there and follow it around and kill it. And if you find a spot where they're constantly popping in, like we just saw 3 in a span of 5 minutes maybe, yeah, build yourself a little farm there. I can't believe how useful that was. There was no. I've seen it maybe once before, and you saw how much iron we had in there. This is a win by any definition. Hats off to you, sir. I bow. All right, well, that turned out to be a really great ending to an episode that seemed like it would just be building stuff. Me and Iron Giant here, We'll catch y'all later.